Oh,
Well,
we're back.
we're
The
back
boys are back in
again.
town.
Back again. It's
Smoking in the
spooky
boys'
season.
room.
It's spooky season still, Josh. So we're going to keep on trucking with our horror movie
Our spooky
genres
wheel.
through the month of October until we go through the Halloween. So why don't we get right into it? Find out what this
Our
wheel's got in
witchy
store for
wheel,
us.
if you will.
Yeah, we'll see what the witching wheel has for us today. Scream, a 1996 classic. Um, this is probably my favorite horror movie. So I remember this coming out in the movie theaters. So it was a it was a time to be in high school. This was a good movie to go take your date out to go see for sure. So I just remember it being really good and definitely a departure from what was horror films before that, right? The campy type
Right.
Jason and Freddy stuff. So um, why don't we go watch it, come back and talk about this thing?
Yo, it's Josh and T-Cat. Best believe that. Reeling in the truth. Stacking on the film snack. Popcorn popping. Critics keep talking. On this podcast, ain't no time for stalking. Real fine line meal, we keeping it free. Josh and T-Cat, the hosts you wanna see. Movie reviews, jokes that ain't new. Keep it locked in, cause we know what to do. Lights, camera, action, movie main attraction. Critics we ain't, but we got that passion. Breaking down the scenes, funny like memes. Josh and T-Cat, man, living the dream.
So Scream, obviously rated R. I think we're gonna be hard pressed to find any horror movies on this wheel that aren't rated R, at least.
I don't know of many that are not like, unless it's like a haunted mansion or something, like a
Yeah,
Disney kind of movie. They're all rated R.
Casper the Friendly Ghost. Uh,
Yeah, dude. I don't like that movie.
like we said, this is made in 19 came out in 1996 in December of 1996. Weird time to release a
That is
horror film.
wild.
Um,
That is
but
wild. Wonder if
if
they
you
did that because they knew, like, go ahead.
so they wanted to give the horror people something to watch when all the holiday movies were out that I read, and it's actually kind of started a trend that even lasts today. That now they release horror movies in December. From October to December, you'll watch this year in December, you'll see some horror movies start to pop up because this one was so popular at that time. It's kind of been an industry standard to release those um,
We
at
used
that
to always
time.
go to the movies the day after Christmas, like as a family. We would go sometimes on the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
We go watch movies. Never scary movies, but we go watch movies.
So this
That's
movie, this movie cost $14 million to make, grossed 173 worldwide.
crazy, dude. That's
So,
crazy. I would have
so it
thought it
was
would
a
have cost
huge.
more than 14 million.
Well, the one thing I read was that the first week it only made six, and they didn't think it was going to do that good. And word of mouth
Mm.
really pushed it beyond and way more than they ever thought they were going to get out of this movie, which is probably why we have, I think, seven of them now and a TV
There's a bunch
series.
of them. And
Yeah,
TV
so
series.
so
Yeah,
you
there's
got
so many of them.
You got Nev Campbell. She was a big star at that point in time. Um, she plays Sydney. David Arquette is Dewey. Courtney Cox, Drew Barrymore, Skeet Ulrich, Rose McGowan,
Skeet Ulrich.
yeah, Matthew Lillard, and Jamie Kennedy were probably the big names in this movie. Uh, they build this movie leading up to the opening as Drew Barrymore having a very big role in it. Like she was like the number one star on the cast sheet, and then
Mhm.
they kill her right off the bat. Like she's
Right off
dead
the bat,
within the
dude.
first 10 minutes. So I think that was a little bit of shock value to kind of prove that anyone can die in this universe, right?
She was a big part of it, though, if you think about it. You kind
Yeah,
of set the tone for the whole, I guess, the whole franchise, I guess, really,
yeah. So
Yeah.
the party scene at the end took them 21 days to shoot. So It's a
21 days.
most of their shooting was done in that last scene. Um, they they hired Courtney Cox. She wanted to be more of a bitchy character, kind of the opposite of what she played on Friends. Because at that time, she was one of the biggest stars in the world. Friends was huge.
Yeah,
She wanted to,
comedy. Yeah.
yeah, she wanted a completely different role. Um, Wes Craven is the director, probably best known for Nightmare on Elm Street, the original one. Um,
He did a Dracula too, didn't he?
yeah, but
Yeah, I think so.
this was kind of his coming back party to the horror genre. He had kind of left the scene for a little bit, and they got him to do this one. Um,
Made all that Freddy Krueger money.
all that Freddy Krueger money. There's a
Yeah,
line in
took a
this
break.
movie where Ghostface is talking on the phone, and they're talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, and it says that the first one was good, the rest of them were kind of crappy because he directed the first one, but not the rest of them. So
Yeah.
up until I think after this movie, he came back and redid another one. It was called that. It was like the last Nightmare on Elm Street that he did. So this was before he did the second Nightmare on Elm Street. Um,
There's another tie to Nightmare on Elm Street in the movie too. Can you name it?
yeah, yeah. The janitor's wearing
Yeah.
the Freddy Cougar. There's a lot of Easter
It's the
eggs.
same guy too.
Yeah, there's a lot of
It's a,
Easter eggs in this movie to other horror franchises. A lot for Halloween. After Drew Barrymore's character Casey gets murdered in the opening scene, her parents pull up, and the dad sees all the carnage and tells his wife to go to the neighbor Mackenzie's house. That's from Halloween. Uh,
uh,
the Rose McGowan shirt is a football jersey with a 10 on it. That's from Halloween. There's like a whole laundry list of stuff that are like little Easter eggs from um, other horror franchises that came before it.
paying
So
homage.
yeah, the original title for this movie was supposed to be Scary Movie. They switched to Scream. Of course, we know later on the Wayans brothers adopted the Scary Movie title for their movie,
Yeah.
making fun of this movie, Scary Movie. So, and that is actually on our witching wheel as well. So it might land on
I
Scary
hope we
Movie
get
next
it,
week.
dude.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
hope.
Um,
Great.
you
I
don't
love
think
that
about
movie.
the you don't think about this now. 29 years later after this film was released. But once this film came out, usage of caller ID went up 3 times. Um, at that point, now everyone has caller ID. It's just part of what our cell phones,
Well,
the phone numbers pops up. Back then, you'd answer the phone, wouldn't know who was on the line. You just answer the phone.
I remember
So,
we had those little deals that like went in between like your telephone, like I guess like your service. There was like
yeah,
a
it was a
little
little
gray
box.
box,
Yep,
and then it hooked to your phone. Yeah, like it wasn't actually built into the phone there for 2 or 3 years. I remember
yep.
whenever the cordless phones, like VTech, come out with the cordless phones with the digital caller ID screen, it was like a huge deal, like $79. Everybody had like the purple ones and like the
Yeah,
turquoise green ones. Yeah, man. What a time. What a time to be
what a
alive,
time.
man.
Um, let's see. Drew Barrymore only worked 5 days for this movie. I didn't get find how much she got paid for those
Probably
five
one of the
days.
highest paid.
Yeah, but you consider that the whole crew worked 21 days just on the last scene, and she only worked 5 for the first
Yeah, it's
scene.
nuts.
So um, that's
Feeling a
basically all
little
the little
woozy here.
that's that's all the little facts I have about Scream. I know there's a bunch out there. This movie's been picked and cleaned over for the Easter eggs and all the facts about it. There's a lot of information out there
We
about
love
this
this
movie.
movie in this house. I mean, they watch this movie probably, I would say 5, 6 times a year. Like it's on like a revolving classics in our house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Such
probably
a
try to
good
watch
one.
this time of year. I try to watch it like once a year. Um,
Yeah.
just because, like I said, I think this is my favorite horror movie. When it
Mm.
came out, it redefined that whole genre, especially the slasher films. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
so um, themes that we kind of talk about themes sometimes. You got survival and resourcefulness of the main character, Sydney. that girl,
She just won't die.
she just won't die.
She won't die, man.
Which is great. There must have been something special about her and her family for the all seven movies are tied back to her family, and
Sidney
it,
Prescott.
it they talk about her mother and her father, and then Cotton
Yeah, I think
Weary.
it's something with their old house. Like, that old house they have or whatever. Like, I think it's like a old, like they're like like this really old family in the town from what I can
Yeah,
gather. So like that's like the kind of like the untouchable person, almost kind of being that victim. So it kind of makes it even more amplified.
yeah.
Because then they
So
think, oh, if it can happen to Sidney Prescott, what's going to happen to us? Like, you know what I
right,
mean?
and we're gonna probably say some spoilers here. So if you haven't watched this
Well,
movie,
it's been
that's it's been out 29 years.
30 years. Yeah,
Yeah, so you're probably not on the right podcast for that. Um,
right.
you find out at the end her boyfriend and his buddy are the one doing all this stuff, and they killed her mother as well, framed it on a guy by the name of Cotton Weary, who shows up in the
Cotton.
set. He shows up as one of the heroes in the second movie, um, and that plot kind of gets pulled through all the rest of the movies as well. Sydney's cousins end up being killers. It's a whole mess. So
They got a whole bunch of haters in the family branches. You know what?
one
So
thing
okay, yeah, go ahead.
one thing I really like about this movie in particular and the franchise is they poke fun at the rest of the horror genre. There's
Yeah.
Jamie Kennedy's character Randy. He he talks about the rules of surviving horror films and all what's coming because this and at the end the last scare of the killer. I like that self-deprecating kind of point back at the genre part of this movie that that's just something that appealed to me.
Yeah, like at that one scene at like that party or like that little get together they were having at that house, he was like going through all of like the rules, like who was next and what would be happening in this scenario, and then like he comes in the house, Ghostface, and pretty much unfolds everything that he just pretty much lays out. And
Yeah.
he's in there chilling on the couch, and he's like, well, who's next? And he realizes it's him. And he kind of has like this epiphany or like moment of clarity that realizes, like, holy shit, like this is real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is
Yeah.
really happening. So it's,
So
yeah, like you said, it's kind of cool how it picks it apart.
I could see a world where they make another one, and I think they are making another one where Randy comes back to be the killer at the end. Like the last movie, he's like, well, everybody thought it was me. Now it
But
is me.
I'm the guy. Right.
Now I'm the
I'm
guy.
the guy.
Maybe I should write that screenplay and make a
You
couple
should,
hundred bucks.
man. Yeah, just sell it to Netflix. It could be a Netflix original.
They come they come back to their class reunion. Randy kills
Yeah.
everybody.
You could like bring them back to life, do like some kind of like Walking Dead cross genre. You know what I mean? Like whoever's died comes back as like zombies or vampires. They were bit by a vampire.
No,
You could mix them all together.
so I think the thing about this movie is it's grounded in reality. Like you
Right,
could totally
right.
see some kid being way into too much horror movies and this happening. So I don't think zombies would be the answer to bringing back
Nah,
people.
dude.
Uh, but
Like
I do
Michael
know that.
Myers, he's like, what is he? He's like immortal. Like she cut his
Right,
head. She's cut his head off and everything, and he keeps
right.
coming back. So
I have heard rumblings that they were planning on bringing back Matthew Lillard to reprise his role because you don't ever
I've
actually
seen that.
see him die in this movie. So they're thinking he somehow survived and got out on his own, and then is supposed to come back to finish this thing off. Um, I like that. I could see that happening. Um, Maybe that's how you
And
get
he's
Randy
also
involved.
gotten pretty popular again. Like he's had like a
Yeah.
reprisal. He has that show Good Girls on Netflix where he's like the whatever, like one of the main characters. And I think he's been in some other like newer like thriller or like action kind of movies. I'm not really sure, but I've definitely seen him, more coming back around. So
So in in preparation for this, I watched some YouTube videos where they point out all the Easter eggs, and then there was one called "How You Know Which Guy Was Ghostface Throughout the Movie," and apparently you can tell whether it's Stewart or it's Billy behind the mask throughout the
Mm.
movie. And they kind of broke it down like this scene, it's Billy, and you can tell because Billy uses both of his hands when he stabs, and Stu
So,
only uses one hand, and he likes to slice. So if he's
oh,
cuts
okay.
somebody's neck, that's probably Stu. If they're stabbing him with two hands, that's probably Billy. Also,
Mm.
they break it down. Billy's coming up the stairs or up the ladder to get into Sydney's room. So the person on the phone had to be Stu and
Hmm.
different things like that. It was a pretty neat video to kind of break it down that way. So there's a lot of people who've really went in depth on this movie. So we're
Well,
not
it's
going to
a
break
like
any new ground here.
I don't find a lot of holes in this movie. Like whenever you talk about
Mhm.
like plot points and things like that, like it's not. You can definitely tell
I've
it's
got
not lazy writing. You
I've
know,
got one that every time I watch it, I think is a terrible. The one thing that they did that doesn't feel real to me, and that's when Tatum, Rose McGowan's
mm.
character, goes out into the garage and he murders
Oh,
her
oh
with a
yeah,
garage door. I've had garage doors
yeah.
hit
It never
me
would have
and go
picked her
back up.
up.
It one, it wouldn't picked her up. Two,
Yeah.
when it got to the top, it just would have got hung up and went back down because that's
Well,
the
you
way they
look, it was
work.
like a third horsepower motor. Yeah,
Yeah,
just barely pulling it up. Like, yeah, and it was old too. It looks like old as heck.
yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, that
that's
is
the
true.
only
That's
one.
the only thing that really,
Like even in 1996, watching this at the movie theater, I was like, that couldn't happen.
yeah, that's
You
not gonna
know?
happen. And they didn't even have sensors on the like the remember like back in the day, you could just get crushed. I guess not really crushed. Apparently, maybe you can get picked up in a
Yeah,
doggy hole by one. But they didn't put those sensors out until I mean early
yeah.
two
But
thousands, like where it
they
had to
still had them.
happen.
Well, they had them where when it would hit something, it would go back up or go
You go
back
back up,
down.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Right,
I don't see how this would have even happened. But you know, it was
right,
just a small plot point that really, you know, didn't make any sense anyway. So um,
yeah.
that was the only hole that I seen that I really visually seen. I'm sure if you picked it apart, you could be like, "Why? How did Billy get from here to here?" Stuff like that. But the fact that they had two people being Ghostface the whole time, I think really kills that because you can go, well, Billy's here, then Stu was the one running around, or
Right.
vice
Because they can
versa.
be two places at one time. You know what I mean? They literally can be. So,
Um, well, before we move on, we probably should put our sponsors in here real
oh,
quick.
we skipped right over them real quick. Yeah, they're going to catch the end of the episode instead of the
Yeah.
first this week. That's
So,
cool. Go
you
for it.
know, before we talk too much about this movie, we'll give a quick shout out to W Energy. Even Ghostface shows up. Even if Ghostface shows up unexpectedly, W can keep your energy up and your reflexes sharp with flavors like Pine Berry Splash, Push and Punch, Watermelon Aid. You stay alert for every twist and scare. Head over to w.gg and use Find by Me to get 10% off your order because surviving your night might get scary. So that's
Survival of the
WGG.
fittest.
You know, they got an energy drink for every situation, it seems. If you're being hunted down by a ghost face slasher, um, they've got an energy drink for you. So
Yeah, you have just enough gas to maybe get away
hopefully
to buy
run
more.
down to run down the stairs and out the front of the house instead of up the stairs.
We just
Where
want
you
you to
think that?
survive long enough to buy some more W.
So you know, they do have some pretty clever kills in this movie. Um, you know, the opening act with Drew Barrymore, he guts her boyfriend out there on the front of the
Yeah,
pool.
dude.
That's pretty
We were
crazy.
talking about that the other night, how you can just hear that, like the sounds of like his intestines and stuff. It's so gross.
Yeah, and then her hanging from the tree out there for her parents to
Yeah.
find.
Yeah,
Um,
she was quartered and hung and all that stuff.
they don't show it, but the principal was hung off the goal post on the football field. Um, that's
Who's
pretty
also the
bad.
coach in Waterboy.
Yeah, he's also the Fonz.
He is the
I mean,
Fonz.
for you to be like the coach in Waterboy is
A slap in the
probably
face to all of
yeah
our parents and grandparents.
to Henry Winkle, who was the Fonz in Happy
The
Days.
Fonz.
Uh,
I know him as
so
Coach Klein, Mr. Coach Klein.
so that's probably his
Not
biggest
happy day.
role.
Whoa, happy days. Tuesday, Friday, happy day. I do know the show, but I know him as
Yeah.
Mr. Coach Klein. Anyway, what's
Um,
another one that's pretty wild? The garage doors is just plumb silly.
yeah.
Trying to think.
The end when they Billy and Stu start stabbing each other,
Yeah, dude.
to be that's pretty wild to me. He's like, "There's a lot of blood, man. I'm
I
losing
know.
it.
I'm a little woozy here.
I'm a
Yeah, it's
little
pretty bad.
losing."
He went too deep.
I think,
Yeah, that's how you
and I
kind of
think
know
he
they
did
were
it on purpose.
psychos.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
he's a
Billy did it on
psycho.
purpose because I believe Billy was the psychopath here, and Stu was just easily influenced. That's what I think. Um, he
Yeah.
had seen Stu had seen way too many movies, and Billy just wanted to get revenge. That's what I think.
That and like you said, Billy was like the master manipulator, so he knew that he was into
Yeah,
that. So he picked him as his first victim, more or less, and was like, "Hey, let's talk him into doing it."
yeah. So, um,
But yeah, have you got any reviews for us?
I do, I do. Let me get the
I don't
right
want to get.
here.
I think we've hit about everything I could think of, without
Yeah,
just
pretty
pretty
much.
much unfolding the whole plot. We want to leave a
So
little bit
yeah,
to
we
the
do.
imagination if you haven't seen this in 30 years.
In 30 years. So I like looking at these Google reviews and sharing them with you guys. I try to have a 5-star review and one not so 5 star. So we got June 2 years ago, got on Google and said my absolute favorite. I would recommend Scream because it's scary and the ending had me shaking. The end's got a big plot twist, and I would suggest watching it. Scream brings instant nostalgia to any horror fanatic. If you're a fan of the saga, you'll love this movie. I think it's the second best in the franchise, and I think it did a great job bringing Scream back to the franchise. Scream is a suspense-filled, unpredictable slasher movie. The new cast did a good job. So this is clear. This lady wrote this about the old movie or the new
Mhm.
movie, and not the old one. So
Right. By the
she
same
put
name.
yeah, about the exact same name. Said it
Yeah.
is everything you want a Scream movie to be. 5 stars. But this
Nice.
was under the
5 on it.
original movie. So I thought that was funny.
That is funny.
On the
Did
other
you find
end,
any 1 stars?
I did. On the other end, Brandon, just a year ago, said, I couldn't stand one or two of this franchise and won't be watching the other 5 or 10 or whatever. Can't stand the end. The guy who was in Scooby Doo and was drooling on the tape recorder. I hate that guy. Did that in 13 Ghosts too. I've seen dogs drool less
Mm.
than him. There's a reason why they made fun of that scene in Scary Movie, not to mention it was too easy to make fun of because it was so dumb. It's one of those movies where the trailer is a lot better than the movie itself. One one
Mm.
star.
Haters gonna hate, dude. 13 Ghosts is a good movie too. I always forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So Josh, you've watched it. I've watched it. We've heard what the other people in the world want to rate this. What's the chief want to rate this movie?
3.3, 3 trays across the board, 3.3. It's
So
like
that's
you said,
mostly
we can
fine by
put it
me.
on. Yeah, we can put it on any time in this house, and I'll at least have it on in the background or watch it. It just never gets old. You can just throw it on. Like you said, it's also like nostalgia too, because it's
Mhm.
kind of a coming of age movie for me, and just how it changed like all those 80s and 90s, like just wild horror movies. Like I never got into like Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers, just
Yeah.
because it was so like unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like it
Hmm.
wasn't like super scary to me. It was almost like watching like science fiction. So when it
Yeah.
come to this, you're like, oh shit, dude, like it's home invasion stuff. Like this could happen to anybody, anywhere,
Yeah.
anytime. So that's kind of like where it piques the interest and intriguing part about it, you know. So 3.3 for me. What do you got, T-Cat?
So I'm right there with you. I put it as a 3-2. Still mostly fine by me. And I rate this on the scale of all movies, not just horror movies. If it was just horror movies, it would be probably higher. Um, but I can turn it if it's on, I can watch it. I can turn, like I said, I turn it on once a year when it gets around to October and try and watch it because I do like it that much. I love the fact that just like you said, it took us out of the genre of the campy horror movies into something that could be more realistic. Um, it's not a guy trying to kill me in my nightmare, in my dreams. It's a real
Right,
life
right,
scenario. Someone could show up in my house and try to stab me to death. So,
right.
like I said, 3.2, mostly fine by me. So,
What's your favorite scary movie? That's what he says. I always think about
that,
the actual movie, Scary Movie, every time I watch this movie
yeah,
too. So I
I
kind of
do
get,
too.
dude, I've watched them both so many times that I get them twisted up sometimes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'll be
I
watching,
agree.
like it's like the popcorn on the stove whenever she's
Right.
popping it, and then you think about the Scary Movie, it's like huge, you know, and like
Yeah.
bouncing
It
around the
blows up.
kitchen. Yeah, yeah. Well, all right, folks. Thank y'all for watching, listening.
Yeah, we'll be
If you
back
liked
here
it,
soon
oh,
with a whole nother horror movie. I think we're going to try to do a couple more of these in
yeah,
October.
before the holiday.
So
Sounds
it'll
good.
be a
Thank you
good
all for
time.
listening.
Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, dude, definitely that comment. You know, leave us a comment. Whether even if it's bad, we don't care. I'm not going to read it anyway, but leave it.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
See